Hello students. So today we are going to learn in this session a particular bit of water technology, that is the methods for water softening. So the content which we are going to cover in this topic is first, that is the types of water, uh, for example soft water and hard water. And the second topic that we are going to cover is methods that we use for water softening process. First one, that is zeolite method, and the second method is ion exchange method or deionization method. So first we will talk about types of the water. Basically there is very simple test that we can find out the given water sample is soft in nature or hard in nature. You can take the water sample and mix with the soap solution. If the water is producing lather easily with the soap solution, it is called as a soft water. And if water does not produce the lather easily with the soap solution, it is called as a hard water. Basically, soap solution is a sodium salt of the fatty acids which are soluble in the water. That's why in presence of the hard metal ion, it is forming insoluble precipitate and it does not form the lather easily with the soap solution. So the hardness character to the water is because of presence of some dissolved salt of the heavy metals like calcium plus 2, magnesium plus 2, Fe plus 2, manganese plus 2 and Al plus 3. So all these ions makes your water hard in nature. And this hard water we can convert it into soft water by using different softening methods like zeolite method, lime soda methods and deionization. So in this topic we are going to cover two methods. First, that is zeolite method, and the second one is ion exchange method. So first we will talk about the zeolite method, which is also called as the permutate method. Permutate is nothing but the exchange of the ions. So first, zeolite was introduced in 1756. The name of scientist is Axel Friedrich Bronsted. Basically, zeolite is a Greek word, means zeo means boil and lithos means stone. So it is also called as the boiling stone. If you see its chemical composition, it is a hydrated molecule of sodium aluminum silicates, which is porous in nature. In their structure, it is having some loosely held sodium plus cation, which is responsible for exchanging the other heavy metal cations, which is present in the hard water. So basically this zeolite is having two types. First, that is natural zeolite, which is non-porous structure, and the second one is synthetic zeolite, which is porous and the gel structure. Now we'll talk about zeolite structure. Zeolite is three-dimensional, microporous and crystalline solids. And it is containing aluminium, it contains silicon, and silicon and aluminium in between oxygen is shared. So in their regular framework. While if you see, these are the pores which is present in the zeolite structure. So in these pores, cations and water molecule are located. Basically, zeolite is a porous structure and the various cations like sodium plus, potassium plus, calcium plus 2, magnesium plus 2 can be trapped or can be present in these pores in the loose form. So these positive ions are in the loosely held and that is responsible for exchanging other cations which is present in the water sample. So this is a structure of sodium zeolite bed. Now let us see what is the principle of this method. So when hard water, which is having a hard metal ion or heavy metal ion, is passed through the sodium zeolite bed, where sodium is in the loose form, then the heavy metal cations like your calcium plus 2, magnesium plus 2, which is present in the hard water, gets captured by the sodium zeolite bed, and in exchange it releases the sodium plus ion. That means this is just the exchange of ion. In place of sodium plus, now we have calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2. In this way, the heavy metal cations gets removed and your water becomes soft in nature. See the process. In this water softening process, we pass hard water through the sodium zeolite bed to the specified rate. Then the cations which is present in the water sample like your calcium, magnesium, Fe, manganese, which is the hardness causing metal ion, it get exchanges with the sodium which is present in the sodium zeolite in the loose form. Therefore, the water which is coming out from this cylinder, it contains sodium cations rather than calcium and the magnesium cations, because calcium and magnesium get retained to the sodium zeolite bed. Now look at the diagram of sodium zeolite process of which is used for the water softening. So here we have the sodium zeolite bed. There is one inlet to enter the raw water or the hard water. Second inlet is there to enter the sodium chloride that we use for regeneration process. And there is a one outlet from where we can collect the soft water which contain the sodium salt. Now once hard water is entered by using this inlet which contain maybe calcium chloride and magnesium sulfate, what happens? In this sodium zeolite bed, sodium plus is in the loose form, so there is a exchange of ions is taking place. That is, now in this bed, calcium plus 2 and magnesium plus 2 get retained, while the outgoing water sample is having a sodium salt. For example, sodium chloride and sodium sulfate. Now, after the process in this bed, we have the calcium zeolite and the magnesium zeolite. That means the outgoing water sample is contain equal amount of the sodium plus ion. So here by using this outlet, we can collect the soft water which contain the sodium salt. Now look at the reaction that is for softening process and the regeneration process. So sodium zeolite is represented as the Na twice Zd. Zd stands for the zeolite. When reacted with the calcium bicarbonate, that means heavy metal ions, then it is converted into calcium zeolite with the release of the sodium plus ions. Same here, instead of calcium bicarbonate, if the hard water sample is having magnesium bicarbonate, in presence of sodium zeolite, it forms the magnesium zeolite with the release of sodium plus ion. So this is just nothing but the exchange of the ions process. Now, after this process, when sufficient amount of water is passed to the bed, that bed it gets exhausted, or it is also called as a saturated. So after this process, this calcium zeolite and magnesium zeolite, it is called as the exhausted bed or the saturated bed. And such a exhausted bed is needs regenerated by passing a specific quantity of the 10% NaCl, which is called as a brine solution. So we passed it through the bed and that bed gets regenerated. As per the reaction, see this calcium zeolite, which we called as exhausted or saturated bed, going to react with the 10% NaCl, which is called as a brine solution. It formed the sodium zeolite with the calcium chloride salt formation. In the same manner, magnesium zeolite, which is called as the exhausted bed, going to react with the 10% sodium chloride. It again form sodium zeolite with the magnesium chloride salt formation. And this salt formation we can recover or it can be removed in the washing process. And again this bed, which is nothing but the original sodium zeolite bed, the process we can be continued. Now let us see advantages and the disadvantages of this method. See the advantages: the simple process to operate, low cost operating process. This is applicable to any hard water sample. and the softener, that means the sodium zeolite bed which we use, it occupies the small space. But along with this, it is having a lot of disadvantages. First, this method is remove only the cations. It does not remove the anions from the water. The outgoing water sample is contain the equivalent amount of sodium salt. That means again for the removal of sodium salt, we need a further process. This is not applicable to the warm water because there is a possibility it may clog the material of your bed, and the colored ions like manganese plus 2, Fe plus 2 gets permanently captured by the sodium zeolite bed. Further regeneration is not possible. Now let us see few applications. It is widely used as the highly efficient catalyst, used as adsorbent in ion exchanges in most of the petrochemical industries. Zeolites have found promising application in the field of renewable energy and environmental improvements like biomass conversion, in fuel cells, in thermal energy storage, in CO2 capture and conversion, and in water purification process. As it is the most important solid catalyst that we used in traditional petrochemical industries. Zeolite is also act as oxygen reservoirs and also improve the cell performance in most of the skin tissue engineering and the wound healing process. So these are the few applications in the periodic form of the zeolites. Now coming to the second method that we use for the softening process is called as the deionization, or it is also called as the demineralization process or ion exchange. Basically, deionization, it is a chemical process that is specially manufactured. It uses some ion exchange resins which exchange hydrogen and hydroxide ion for the dissolved minerals and then recombine it from the water. In the ion exchange process, we use polymeric ion exchange resin, that is cation exchange resin and the anion exchange resins. So when water which is having cations and the anions, it get passed to the resin. Cation exchange resin captures all the cations and anion exchange resin captures all the anions which is present in the water sample, and finally we will get the demineral water or the pure water. Now let us see, there are two types of resin. First, as I mentioned in the last slide, cation exchange resin and the anion exchange resin we use for this process. Cation exchange resin, that is exchanging only positive ions, while anion exchange resin that exchanging only negative ions. Basically, cation exchangers is classified as either strong acid cation SAC or weak acid cation resin. Basically, both are used for demineralization process, but strong acid cation resin is most commonly used for the softening process. In the anion exchange resin, it can be classified either the strong base anion resin or weak base anion resin. And in this again, strong base anion resin frequently used for demineralization, while weak base anion resin is used for acid absorption. These are the structure for cation exchange resin and the anion exchange resin. So if you see the structure of polymeric compound, where we have the H plus is in the loose form, which can be easily exchanges the other cations which is present in the water sample. While in this anion exchange resin, if you see this OH minus is in the loose form in this polymeric gel structure, which can be easily exchanges the other anions which is present in the water sample. And finally, this H plus and OH minus gets combined, will get the water molecule. Now let us see working of ion exchange resin. Here we use the cationic and anionic resin for deionization process. The anionic resin gets pre-charged with the hydroxide ion as per according to the structure of compound. Anionic resin gets help in attracting the negatively charged ions like chloride, fluoride, sulfates, and it can release equal amount of the hydroxides. That means anionic exchange resin is having the OH minus ions that will be easily exchanging the other anions which is present in the water sample. Cationic resins are pre-charged with the hydrogen ions, and this cationic resin helps in attracting only positively charged ions like magnesium, calcium, sodium, etc. And in water, it releases equal amount of the hydrogen ions. That means cationic resin having the H plus is in the loose form, it will be exchanging other cations which is present in the water sample. And then the hydrogen and the hydroxide interact with each other, leading to the formation of the water. Now let us see the diagram of this ion exchange process. First column is said to be cation exchange column. Second column is anion exchange column. In the first column, we have this cation exchange resin. In the second column, we have this anion exchange resin. There is one inlet for entering the dilute HCl, and here for the dilute NaOH. Dilute HCl is for the regeneration of cation exchange resin, while dilute sodium hydroxide is for the regeneration of anion exchange resin. So when the raw water is entered in the first chamber, which is called as a cation exchange column, where the cation exchange resin is having the loosely held H plus ion. So what happened? All the cations get trapped here with the release of the H plus ion along with the anions. So that means outgoing water sample is in the acidic in nature. This acidic water is then entered in the second column or in the second chamber, where the anion exchange resin is there, which is having the OH minus, is in the loose form, which can easily exchanges the anions which is present in the water sample. That means the outgoing water sample is having H plus and OH minus ion that gets combined to form the water. So here the exchange of the cations, and in this column there is a exchange of the anions. This water is then passed to the degasifier, where we can remove all the dissolved gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and then finally we'll get your deionized water or demineralized water. Now look at the process, reaction and regeneration reaction. So first we'll talk about the cation exchange column. Cation exchange resin is represented as twice RH plus. If it is reacted with the hard water having the calcium plus 2, then it is forming R2 calcium plus 2 with the release of H plus ion. So there is just exchange of cations in this process. Secondly, in the anion exchange column, it is represented as the ROH minus. So it is going to react with the Cl minus, that is anions. It formed the RCl minus with the release of OH minus ion. So here if you see in the cation exchange column, it releasing the H plus ions. In the anion exchange column, it releasing the OH minus ions. Both gets combined, it form the water. Again, similar to zeolite process, when a sufficient amount of water is passed through the bed or through the resin, it gets exhausted or it gets saturated. So again, a process of regeneration is needed. Cation exchange resin is regenerated by using the dilute HCl, the acidic solution, while the anion exchange resin or column is regenerated by using the dilute basic solution. So this resin is called as a saturated cation exchange resin, which is nothing but this one is going to react with the acidic solution. If you see again regeneration of the original, or we can say regenerated cation exchange resin, that is the original compound with the release of calcium salt. Again, In the anion exchange column, saturated anion exchange resin going to react with the basic solution with the regeneration of your original regenerated cation exchange resin with the formation of the sulfate salt. So in the washings we can collect this one, and again the process can be continued after the regeneration process. Now let us see the advantages. This method is gives the water of zero hardness, around 0 to 2 ppm hardness is obtained by using the deionization method. If water is passed through degasifier, then dissolved gases like oxygen and CO2 is also removed. We'll get the distilled water or demineralized water. The process is easy to operate, and if you compare the process with the distillation, deionization saves the cost. It is a fast process and it uses the less energy. See that disadvantages: initial investment is high, and this process is applicable only for the small scale purification of the water. Now let us see the application of ion exchange process. Ion exchange is widely used in food industry, hydrometallurgy, metal finishing, chemical processes, petrochemical, pharmaceutical, nuclear field, softening process, industrial water treatment, and many other industries. It is also used in the household field to produce the soft water. But the most important case of ion exchange is the Purex process, which is nothing but the plutonium uranium extraction process. This process is used to separate plutonium and the uranium from the remaining compound like americium, curium, etc. It is a radioactive fission product that is come from the nuclear reactor. So the waste product that can be separated out for the disposal purpose. And finally, we will compare between the zeolite and the ion exchange method. First point is zeolite is the softening process where we use a chemical compound for as a softener, that is zeolite. While in ion exchange method, it is a water softening process where we use cation exchange resin and the anion exchange resin as a softener. Second point is zeolite process involves the exchange of only sodium ions. That means it removes only cations, while in ion exchange method, it involves sodium ion, hydrogen, chlorides, hydroxyl ion that can be exchanged with the calcium and magnesium. That means it removes cations as well as anions which is present in the water sample. Third point, it has a cylinder which containing the zeolite bed, while in ion exchange method has the cation and the anion exchangers. The fourth point, this is the hard water softening process, while in ion exchange method, this process is having the several category as a softening, as a dealkalization or demineralization processes. And the last point, the hardness obtained in zeolite method is 5 to 10 ppm, while in ion exchange process, hardness obtained is 0 to